In the course of building points, there are strategic options you have within each phase. Using these options to create variety in your game plan will help you maintain control and keep the opponent guessing throughout a match. Let's first look at the strategy behind the use of the serve. Typically, players tend to think of a first serve as hard and flat, and the second serve as a spin serve used to avoid a double fault. Thinking this way increases the predictability, allowing returners to anticipate what's coming. In baseball, for a pitcher to be effective, they avoid being predictable by using a variety of pitches. Their options are to change the spin of the ball, the speed of the ball, and the placement of the pitch in the strike zone. In tennis, the server has the same options. On a first serve, changing the spin, pace, and placement of the ball will work to reduce the effectiveness of the returner. Mixing the use of spin and pace on the first serve will make it difficult for the returner to establish timing. In addition, your selection of different placements on the serve can affect the positioning of the returner, allowing you to attack a weakness as well as add predictability to the direction of the return. Maintaining a high first serve percentage is important because the pressure shifts towards the server when hitting a second serve, giving the returner an advantage. On second serve, the use of spin is highly recommended because the spin action will help bring the ball down into the court to avoid the double fault. Your options include the slice and the kick serve, as well as rotating the placement of your second serve to establish variety. Getting the point started on the return of serve is a very challenging task against a consistently strong server because you only have fractions of a second to react and execute, so positioning is key. Your position in the court will vary based on the strength of the server, your strengths on return, the two styles of play, and the strategy involved. In general, you will position yourself to be halfway between the most extreme placements of the serve. The depth of your position in the court on the return will vary with strategy and styles of play as well. Most players will benefit on returning a first serve by simplifying the strokes using the pace that's already on the ball, with a predetermined target zone in mind. Returning second serves allows the returner to be more aggressive with the stroke and the position they take in the court. On the big points, good returners will often use their position in the court to apply added pressure on the server, influencing the server's decision on where and how they will hit the serve. The shot selection a returner chooses for both the first and second serves will depend on the strategy they have in mind. Hitting returns cross-court works well for getting into a rally, while returning a second serve down the line often gives the returner the opportunity to immediately attack the net. Based on your shots and patterns that are good for your position in the court, as we discussed in Winning with Your Game Part 1, let's look at our options within the rally. A decision you must make early in the match is whether the forehand cross-court pattern or the backhand cross-court pattern will work best for you in building points. This decision will be determined by your strengths and weaknesses, your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and the opportunities you are trying to set up. In general, you can anticipate that a ball hit deep cross-court to your opponent is likely to come back cross-court or down the middle. If the opponent hits the ball down the line, look for an opportunity to hit cross-court to take control of the point. When a ball is hit down the center of the court, that player has the option of which pattern to set up. If the opponent hits repeatedly to the center of the court, you have the option to hit from corner to corner, putting the opponent on the run. You should adjust your down-the-line balls in the rally unless they are point-ending shots to allow you time to recover. It is likely that any down-the-line ball you hit will cause a change of direction in the rally as your opponent responds with a cross-court shot. As you maintain good court position and work to create opportunity balls within the cross-court patterns, Your options are to adjust the spin, pace, and trajectory or height of your shots. Working with this variety will help create the opportunity you are looking for. Angle shots can be used effectively within the rally to force the opponent out of position, often allowing you to take control of the point.
I think it's true about any 3-5 or 4 player. You've got to have the shots there and be able to hit them every time. I mean, if you have a shot and you can't hit it 8 out of 10 times, you don't own the shot, you probably shouldn't be attempting it when you're trying to win a big point.
An opportunity ball can be any offensive situation that presents itself through the course of a point that allows you to progress towards ending the point. How you choose to work with that opportunity may vary and is often determined by your match mentality and your style of play. Here are the options to consider for the various types of opportunity balls. The short ball opportunity offers several options, one of which is to attack the net on an approach shot. As we learned in part 1 of this series, the direction you choose on the approach has an impact on your ability to position at the net. Hitting the ball down the line, or down the middle when in the center of the court, will provide the shortest distance to good position at the net. Using the short ball to approach sets the stage for you to finish the point at the net. Some styles of play will prefer to take the short ball opportunity and go for an outright winner towards any open court. The open court opportunity ball usually comes as a result of using combinations of shots to open the court, allowing you to finish the point with an offensive shot to the opening. If the opponent chooses to hit a shot in the course of a point that is not good for their position, this can also result in an open court opportunity for you. When the court is open, it is not necessary to aim for the lines with your shots and risk making errors. Be offensive but allow for margin of error. Using angle shots and drop shots allow you to take advantage of the opponent's short court, pulling them off the baseline and creating the opportunity for you to finish the point. Your drop shots and sharp angles don't have to be winners, but are the setup to winning the point within the next few shots.
I think the main thing on going forward is looking for the short balls and actually looking for the opportunity to go forward, because if you don't look for it, then you just aren't going to get it. So you have to look for that opportunity.
Do you build it up from your previous shots to try to get a shot to go in?
Yeah, it depends on what I'm working on. You try to get some combinations in there, because if you can use those combinations, then you can actually have a plan or a pattern that you can use in a match. So that's important.
Terrific.
A textbook finish to a point has the player in control of the point, taking the first opportunity ball and approaching the net, putting the opponent in the most difficult situation possible to have to come up with a winning shot. If the opponent is unable to execute a winning passing shot or lob, then the net player will have a chance to hit a volley or overhead, or oftentimes will win the point on a forced error by the baseline player. Basically, the net player uses the opportunity ball to force the opponent to have to execute the winners, relying on the fact that if the approach shots are effective, the baseline player will usually make more errors than winners, and in other instances produce shots that can be put away with volleys and overheads. With that in mind, some players are very effective in the role of the passing shots and lobs, and look forward to the challenge. These type players will often use angles and drop shots to bring you into net so they can pass you. The net position becomes a difficult place to be when you are up there without control of the point and on the defensive. When at the net, it is important to maintain a position that keeps you in reach of the down-the-line pass and the angle pass, yet in a position to cover the lob as well. For the player on the baseline, it is important to show variety in the use of your passing shots and lobs. Keep an eye on the position of the net player. If they play too close to the net, lob until they adjust their position. Once they start to position back to guard against the lob, then using your passing shots will become more effective.
What do you do when you're 5-all and you're just nervous? You know you should beat them and you don't know if you're going to be able to beat them. And, you know, it's relaxation. It's just thinking of each point, but it's difficult. I think that's one of the hardest things in tennis, is just to play each point just as importantly as the previous one or the following one, not to get caught up in the score and how many points you have to win.